Greetings and salutations, horror movie fans. My name is Gilbert Ybarra, and welcome back to the Addict Review. On today's episode of Tar, we're going back to 1987 to look at a film that was kind of regarded as a Goonies ripoff. The Goonies is kind of overrated in my opinion anyways. However, this film was guised as a family movie, and if you've seen this movie, you know it is anything but a family movie.
Yeah, Dwarf, so you would see his Wolfthork. Wolfthork?
What's going on in Antarctica, the Bermuda Triangle, how this movie ever got a PG-13 rating. These are questions that I'll never get answers to because I am baffled how this film ever got a PG-13 rating. Because if you've seen this, you've heard the very politically incorrect dialogue, you've seen the very inappropriate content, but again, the 80s were wild. Gang gang. So, as a fair warning, if you are easily offended, this movie is not for you, okay? I'm telling you right now, this film does not cater to anyone being sensitive about politically correct stuff. I'm sorry I didn't make the film. However, once you get past this, it is very enjoyable. But if you know yourself and know how easily offended you are, please skip this movie. Okay, you guys still with me? Now, let's get this party started with that cool-ass poster for the Monster Squad. Let's check it out. Something about 80s horror is just magical as we see a group of young kids forming a squad to fight off monsters, if you will. And not just any monsters, we're talking the heavy hitters of our beloved past. We got like Dracula, the Wolfman, Gillman. I'll tell you why they call him Gillman. The Mummy. All these freaks are coming together in this town to wreak hell on earth, and it's up to these young prepubescent punks to save the world. In traditional Addict Review fashion, I'm going to break down this beloved film into the 3 acts as I saw them play out, what I disliked and what I very much liked about each part, how I felt about the movie overall, and without further ado, let's talk about The Monster Squad. We open the film with some hilarious Star Wars style information being scrolled up so we can learn that Dr. Van Helsing has a chance to stop Dracula from raising hell on Earth. He fucks it up, of course. But we get to watch Operation Steak a Foo and save the world, and we are treated to some rudimentary special effects, some warmly manufactured music to set the tone, and some incredible set designs. I love this opening scene, and then we get to see the man himself pop out looking like a PIMP. Dracula drops down with the slick back hair and pressed up cape, looking fly and ready to stop Van Helsing from stopping him. And as the villagers are trying to go all Zero Dark 30 on that ass, like I said, the operation to get the amulet and save the world gets botched, and everyone, including Van Loser over there, gets sucked up into this butthole looking vortex, and we are cut to present day 1987. As we step into 1987, we meet our young protagonists, Sean and Patrick, who have a very unhealthy obsession with horror monsters, horror movies, everything horror. It is distracting from their school life and home life, whatever, because this is going to pay off to save the world since Van Loser over there couldn't do it. Now, here's some yellow lights right here before we come to a screeching red light. The next 5 minutes are going to be some very uncomfortable dialogue between the kids. Again, the 1980s were built different. They say a lot of awful things in these scenes coming up, so bear with me. Another member of the Monster Squad, I'm trying to keep it together because his name's Horace, but he is affectionately called Fat Kid. Please, I'm not the one that made up this nickname, okay? I take no pleasure in saying this nickname, but they say it all the time.
What makes Fat Kid fat? Fat Kid? Get out of here, EJ. Get out.
So as Horace, aka Fat Kid, is walking around the school, he is getting mercilessly bullied by 2 kids. However, an unlikely hero shows up, and we find out later he's going to be a very prominent member of the Monster Squad. I still don't understand the dynamics of how this guy is friends with these kids, but we meet Rudy. And Mr. Steal Your Girl, ladies want him, fellas want to be him, Rudy is introduced, and fuck, man.
Hey, Rudy. EJ. See, you met my friend Horace. You okay?
Rudy,
You dropped your candy bar, EJ.
Rudy saves the day and gets an invite to the Monster Squad. But yada yada yada, enough with the kids, we've met enough of the Monster Squad, let's see what Dracula's up to. Dracula is on board a plane looking to hijack the body of Frankenstein's monster and also to show these pilots why he's also known as the Count, because you can count on him to give a good bitch smack. Miles above the earth, Dracula is on board a plane that has some precious cargo. He's there to hijack the body of Frankenstein's monster and to show these pilots why he's also called the Count, as you can count on him to deliver a nice bitch smack worthy of the Oscars.
You son of a bitch.
Man, that CGI is terrible. However, it got the job done, and we see that Dracula delivered his package into a random swamp. Or is it a random swamp? No, it's not, because it's in the hometown of the Monster Squad, and we get to see more of Rudy being initiated into the club. I still don't understand how or why Rudy is associated with these dorks, but he's got a good heart and he's in the squad. Bear with me here, we have a lot of information to catch up on because this movie's at a breakneck speed. We get a glimpse into Sean's home life to see his mom and dad constantly fighting because the dad is a cop and is right now really busy because there's monsters apparently popping up all over town. We also find out that somehow Sean acquired a copy, or the copy, of Van Helsing's diary, which is going to come into effect later on because Dracula is in town and looking for all this shit. Sure, Sean has Van Helsing's diary, but Dracula shows up in this cool-ass hearse. The werewolf man is giving the police station fits, and the mummy, looking like a drunken girl leaving a bar, is stumbling out to go join the evil forces. And we end the crazy busy Act 1 with a brilliant sequence of all of our supervillains getting together to assemble and do some hood rat things. But before we get into my Act 1 likes and dislikes, do me a huge favor and click like and subscribe. Help a guy out to make this my full-time job. Let's keep going. Okay, Act 1 dislike is probably very obvious. The language and the manner in which they speak. I'm kind of a thick-skinned individual. I can take some harsh jokes or some, mean sayings, but this movie really was goddamn pushing a line that I don't even think they knew existed back in the day. And by no means am I excusing anything that they're saying because it is some nasty language and just content to take in. However, I do have to give it leniency because, like I said earlier, when they're pushing lines they didn't know existed, they truly did not know better at the time. So yeah, my Act 1 dislike, really, I'm sorry everyone for saying this, but this movie should have been labeled R. I know it's badass to think, yeah, PG-13, that's how we were back in the 80s. It's still inexcusable. This should have been rated R. But enough of that negative shit. Act 1 likes, oh my goodness, those sets were to die for. At the beginning, oh my god, the whole swamp scene, incredible. Even the setup for the tree house where they have their club meetings, fucking dope. Another huge Act 1 like is the fact that the tempo is so fast, right? They are moving at breakneck speed, but they're great because they cover a lot of ground and they keep us intrigued the whole time. It's not too much information to bring in, it's just the right amount. Did you honestly think I wasn't going to say this in my Act 1 like? Alright, Act 1 love, Rudy. Just Rudy.
Alright, go get it, kid!
No, not that punk motherfucker. Our Rudy, the guy that is going to become a hero for us at the end of this film. Just you watch. Enough gushing over Rudy, let's get into Act 2. Act 2 begins as we join Sean in eavesdropping over his parents arguing about their failing marriage. In the meantime though, Sean has Van Helsing's diary and he sees that he's got a message from a silly anagram for Dracula saying there's interest in that notebook that he has. What's also interesting is that Sean doesn't just hear his parents talking about their marriage, he also hears his dad saying that he's pretty sure there's monsters popping up all over the place. Sean, hearing this, gets an emergency meeting of his friends and declares, hey, now we're the Monster Squad, we gotta take care of this since the adults don't know what the fuck they're doing.
Ooh, look at that big scary monster! Ooh!
Meanwhile, Dracula has found some pretty nice living arrangements for the monsters and tells Frankenstein's monster, for the rest of this film though, I'm going to call him Frankie. That's what they call him in the movie, so I'm going to say it. So anyways, Dracula tells Frankie, I need you to get that diary Bon Jovi style. Dead or alive. Doing Monster Squad things, they find a way to decipher Van Helsing's diary in the form of Scary German Guy, an actually nice neighbor that they have and survivor of, I think, some concentration camps, but that's another story. So the extremely nice German guy translates the diary and tells the guys, hey, the amulet that you're looking for can either destroy the world or send all these evil bastards back to hell where they came from, but you have till tomorrow night to fix this shit. So the Monster Squad is bitten off more than they could probably chew, but they have an unlikely ally as they find Frankie hanging out with Sean's younger sister, and everyone's freaking out because that's Frankenstein's monster. Turns out, he's a good guy, y'all.
It's okay, you guys. He's friends with us. Come on, don't be chicken shit.
No, he's actually a good guy, and he's there to help him because she doesn't want to kill the kids, and he doesn't like Master, aka Dracula, and his intentions to kill everyone. Now we cut to Dracula, who is all amped up because he found the amulet, and he's like, no one can stop me now. Guess again. Yeah, boy, because what's an 80s horror movie without some 80s horror movie montage stuff? And set to the backdrop of some zany, quirky movie, we see the boys getting ready for battle. Mostly Rudy putting the team on his shoulders, getting ready to go fight. But we go back to the police station where we hear squabbling left and right about what's going on. And then we get a chilling confession from the werewolf.
He's gonna kill your son!
That's some messed up shit right there. But the Monster Squad pulls up to Dracula's mansion and we end Act 2. But before we get into my Act 2 likes and dislikes, do me a huge favor, click like and subscribe. Help me to start getting paid from this. Alright, let's keep going. My biggest Act 2 dislike was probably just really the misogyny and just how it promoted the boys will be boys culture in the film. I didn't like it and it could have dealt without it, but again, we're dealing with a time that didn't know any better yet. Act 2 like is kind of a subtle one because I like how they had the scary German guy and how they really judged a book wrong by its cover. They were scared of him because they didn't understand him, and it turns out, yes, he was a survivor of a concentration camp, so he kind of has insight to real life monsters. Bogus. Another Act 2 like was just Frankenstein's monster, aka Frankie, did such a great job of building the chemistry and interacting with the kids and solidifying himself as the protector for these kids in the Monster Squad. Now, between us, one of my favorite Act 2 likes is this scene right here where the werewolf is making the confessional call from the telephone booth at that abandoned gas station. Now, that gas station reminded me exactly of this place that I used to live at on the East Coast called Greencastle, Pennsylvania. On my drive home at night, it looked exactly like that, and I couldn't help but just admire it every time I passed by it. So, one of my favorite parts was inspired by that. With my Act 2 likes and dislikes out of the way, let's get started on Act 3. Act 3 begins as Sean leads half of the Monster Squad into the mansion to look for the amulet. As they're searching, Frankenstein kind of knocks himself out on accident by setting off an explosion, and then Dracula now knows they're in the mansion. The monsters are on high alert now that they know the Monster Squad are in, and we finally get the answer to the age-old question of, does the Wolfman have genitalia?
It doesn't have nards! Do it!
Wolfman's got nards.
Well, we gleefully find out the answer to that, and then this whole scene is a dime as the Monster Squad is trapped by all the monsters coming from different angles, and badass scene right here. The squad escapes with the amulet, thank God. However, they're not in the clear yet as they have old Band-Aid breath there to try to stop them.
See you later, Band-Aid breath.
As these kids are just knocking them out of the park left and right, Sean's dad is finding out that, yeah, these monsters are real, and Dracula is pissed off that they stole the amulet and is targeting the kids in a fucking devilish way.
Meeting adjourned.
Looking for somewhere to take care of amulet business and save the world, they come to the town square. Sean tells his dad to meet him there because we're about to have a showdown of epic proportions.
Help! Here!
And surprise, surprise, I'm gonna end Act 3 right there so that way you can enjoy the rest of the finale. And of course, before we get to my Act 3 likes and dislikes, do me a huge favor, click like and subscribe. It's free and it would mean the world to me. Thank you very much, let's keep going. Act 3 dislikes, I don't have any now because everything else that I disliked from Act 1 and 2 kind of dispelled and was kind of just filtered out. Also, we kind of just got used to it at this point, so I really don't have any dislikes for Act 3. Okay, wait a minute. I kind of lied about that. There is a very particular scene that I've put on TikTok about, man, Dracula's interaction with a young girl. It's so harsh.
Give me the amulet, you bitch!
Oh my god, Dracula, you did not have to do or say that to that little girl. I hope your funeral sucks for that, bro. Act 3 like, oh my goodness, the tempo and speed of this film, especially the last 20 minutes, is phenomenal. We get to see the Monster Squad not just talk about it in their little clubhouse, no. These kids do work, especially Rudy.
Maybe the monsters got them.
Act 3 did such a great job of not overstaying its welcome. It knew what to do with this last 20 minutes as far as the fight scenes. They were very effective. I've seen sometimes where Act 3, oh my goodness, it's horrible because it just wasn't developed enough, or sometimes it's too drawn out like a fucking Avengers movie. So that's my Act 3 likes and dislikes. How did I feel about the movie overall? I don't think you're going to be too surprised by this. My oh my, The Monster Squad from 1987 is one of my favorite cult classics. You know, I'm not gonna say cult classics, one of my favorite horror movies that I've always adored. Sure, it's a little rough around the edges. I mean, I can only apologize so much. I didn't make the goddamn movie, but I did enjoy the hell out of it because, I mean, growing up as a kid, you think you're invincible. You want a chance to take on monsters and stuff like that, and here we get to enjoy it. In the Goonies, we had a treasure hunt. Here in the Monster Squad, we get to go fucking fight monsters and use our imagination and join Rudy and Sean and Patrick and them. So yes, the Monster Squad should be on your list to watch if you haven't seen it yet. If you have seen it, man, get some popcorn and enjoy that again. Don't be bogus. That concludes this episode of The Attic Review. Thank you so much for taking the time to talk horror movies with me. I really appreciate it. I would appreciate it so much more if you were to click like and subscribe and help a guy to chase his dream. Alrighty, please take care of yourselves. My name is Gilbert Ubar. Thank you for watching The Attic Review. Smile Tiger.